Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. We're gonna do a little bit of testing tonight for round 2 of NRL action. I haven't run much practice, so I'm just gonna run some like a practice offline race because I didn't see anybody online for Division B yet in running a lobby. So I'm just going to practice a little bit offline. Let's see. Get everything set up here. But I hope everybody's well. Let me grab chat here on the side so I don't miss anything from you guys tonight. Hey, what's going on, Johnny? Always P1 in the building. God, I might move my camera. I don't know where the best spot is right now, so hold on. Bear with me. Broadcast. I don't know if that's a great spot either. I know I don't want it over my tires. I don't want to see my lap times where that my laps are going to be on the left. Let's run a couple I mean, I can always pause. Whoops. I can always pause because it's an offline. I gotta get in the right car first. Don't tell me I have to back out to get into my car. Whoops. If I'd stop going to the same thing. I do. Cool. Cool. Alright. Well. Oh, there's a change car right there. I can do it. That other car I'm working on. I got things in the work on that other, or in the pipeline for that other car. Load settings. All right. We're just gonna put down some laps for now. See if I can maybe get a test. I haven't done a single test race yet. So we're gonna first test these mediums, I guess. It's gonna take me a little bit to get back into everything, I think. Did not need to brake that early on lap 1. It has been since like Friday or something since I've run a lap here. So it's going to take me a few laps to get back into the swing of things. This next couple days are going to be big time testing days. This is the darkest I've had it here, by the way. What I want to do right away during testing. Cole, what's going on? Cole, I don't want to practice for mine either. I'm not looking forward to this. I actually do not mind. Oh, that turn. I don't hate the car. But this combo here, like, I just don't see us having a great race. I'm just gonna try to survive. Survival. It's so narrow. We're gonna be all clustered together. And heavy damage and Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of tickets. And it's not even, I'm not even worried about, there's gonna be a lot of tickets just in general. Like, it's just gonna be hard not to have contact here. Different tires, possibly, although I haven't run. Why can I not get it to turn there right now? I'm losing so much time turning right there. I haven't got to test out race. The Amuse, one of the two Amuse cars, I don't even know how you say their name, but it's like based off some kind of Honda. It's like a paperclip light. It's so light with so much power. I really should be in 104s. I was in 104s before, and that was when I didn't have a lot of laps. I mean, I still don't have a lot of laps, but... Yeah, it's alright. There's definitely more pace there to push it, but it's so light, like on those tight corners back there. You can lose it real easy. And so maybe during quali I'll push it through there, but I'm just going to try not to die in this race. Which means being easy with it. It kind of is like a fun little car. Like, I'm not... It's just 14 of us on this track. Oh, don't hit the gas like that there. Too much of a hairpin. It's just, you know, gonna be tough. I normally come around to most things thrown our way. Oof, that was rough. But yeah, we also have 8 times tire wear, which he did put us on racing tires, so that's nice. There's a little bump there. If you hit the gas too much, you spin out. Kind of have to be patient up and around that loop. Why won't you turn? It's weird tonight. Hey, what's going on, Talon? How you doing tonight? Boy, down. I struggled through that first sector there. Maybe it's struggling through that hairpin because I'm only -3. Well, I'm glad you're bringing some positivity. Maybe it's because I'm -3. I'm normally positive on the run. I just realized I'm -3, not +3. Yeah, the power on these is yeah, it's tough. This is not my favorite track for sure. I've ignored this track in GT7. Ooh, reverse. I've ignored this track pretty hard in GT7. So it's been a full learning curve because I've never driven this car. And I normally don't drive this course. I don't even know what your combo is, but the way you said that, no, I don't. The fronts get really worn though, so I'm pretty sure I went positive before. Ooh, I don't even really want Laguna in a Ferrari. I don't mind Laguna Seca, but I can only imagine this car going through the corkscrew. It's so light. Oh, rough. Funny, I actually want my picture on the other side. Why I was thinking my lap times would be on the left when that's where the leaderboard is. That's really where I want my face. I'm gonna change that real quick in the middle of this race. That's the nice thing about racing offline. Again, I was planning on racing. Well, I'd be screwed if just missing something screws you. I'm doing some online, but nobody's got a lobby right now, and I didn't feel like starting an online one. I do need to practice some race pace, both without cars and with cars. So I do want to get into some online lobbies. But I hadn't even run a race with no cars, which I like doing to prep, to get a feel for, you know, optimal tire strategy. You know, it's the best of the best when you only got one AI car out here, so. Hey, Jimmy. How's it been? I'm doing well. Hope you're well. It's been a while. It's funny. I pulled those 103s and 104s early, which are towards the top of my list, or top of my times. But everything else has been way less consistent than what I was before. I know I took a whole weekend off, but it's weird to go from my best laps to some of my worst laps. I mean, I know it's a lot of tire wear. These things are about dead. Oh yeah, I'll be practicing a lot of pit entry when I'm just in a lobby. Plus I will have to practice it in general tonight, just because I'm running an actual practice race right now versus the AI, so I will have to go into it. Right now the strategy is to try once. If you're going to run the mediums, you're not going to want to pit twice. That's my guess. You can keep the pace. I mean, like, I'm still running 105s. I wish they were lower, but if you run the softs, it's definitely a 2-pit strat. They're dead after a lap. I appreciate it. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I'll be putting a bunch of practice pits in here. Try not to lose too much time. I also like getting a good session in with a bunch of practicing your grid start. Just to kind of get down, which I've been using TC1 with this car, which isn't normal. I normally don't run TC, but with this car, I've been running TC1 since the start. But it's nice to know optimal for your takeoff. I had a good start 2 weeks ago in our first race at Watkins Glen. And some of that was people in front of me having a poor start, but I do think some of it was actually getting practice at my grid start. Which the Swifties couldn't have been any easier to start in. There's not a whole lot of slip to start. But still, TC1 seemed to really be a good sweet spot. Ow. Shift there. I should think I would probably pit earlier than this. But it is good to see a little bit longer how bad the first stint can be. Yeah, it's exact half, but you do have less fuel, so I probably will, if I were to run this strat, which I just put nice damage on, I will have the undercut available too. Coming out is oh, okay. Well, that just ruined most of that test just by leaving. Good. Anyways, coming out of the pits, I wasn't even talking about slipping and hitting the wall. But that's such a scary spot to come out with other cars. I guess we can simulate how bad the damage. Oh yeah, that's gonna ruin lap times. I know, I should have done that, Talon. I literally looked at it too and then left it. Yep, I'm not gonna want to run with damage, that's for sure. Well, let's just do this. I'm gonna retry from the start. I'm gonna put this to the rear right away. We need all the laps anyway, so whatever. the fact that's the second time in a row. All right, Talon, thanks for stopping in. Good luck to you too. If I don't see you before then. Rough. Getting squirrely through there. Normally it's coming out of that. I feel like compared to what I've been used to practicing in, this track is definitely colder. God. I don't know if it's +4. I practiced +3 before, and I'm not used to it being that loose, or oof. A lot looser through that section right now, though. Let's just go up a gear quicker. See if that helps. yeah, but we had the easier one last week, Johnny, so don't feel too bad. I just got a nail on this consistency is all. Too wide coming out of there. Johnny, how's that alt account coming along? Yeah. Good run going up the hill. All out of shape now. tough. That was tough. Still got into the 104s though, so it's possible for a whole stint to stay in 104s. Got to keep practicing that. Lost some time on the way in. Alright, careful on the way out. Let's get used to watching this map here. Because it's going to be... The entrance and exit on pit here is tough. I did not mean to double upshift there. Town was talking about the radicals earlier, and now I'm trying to double shift. Almost exactly where I met him last time. I had to let off more this time, though. Less of that. Tough corner again. struggling. I've worn tires in that corner. Gosh darn it. I tried to send it too hard. Silence. Which they died even more because of that spin. But they're going to be dead either way. But it is possible to do 13. All right, that ain't terrible. Let's see. Let's see. Let me mark everything down real quick, and then I'm gonna see if anybody's opened a lobby yet. All right. Let's go check out if anybody's got a lobby. Let me check Discord real quick. Super. I can't imagine Super Formulas here. Looks like JP's possibly got one open, so let's go. I can't. Super Formulas here. Briggs is crazy. That's just crazy. All right, well, it's good to get one little practice race in to get a baseline of what that strat has to offer. I want to run a couple other strats. Nope. But since I think there's an online lobby, I'm gonna go join that for now. J3W. So long as this is good. And they're not in the middle of something already. If they're already in the middle of something and they don't start over, I'll just jump back out because I want to get laps in race pace, even if it's not with anybody around. Oops, don't change car. Oh, let's just check real quick. On softs, 103.4 or 103.14. JP was quick at Watkins Glen, so I think JP's kind of my baseline here right now. Not saying he for sure is the fastest, but I think he's a good baseline to have. I haven't run softs here since like early last week. definitely need some practice going into those pits. I don't know if I should be on the softs, right? Yeah, I'm on the softs. Then I'm gonna just try. And coming out of the pits, gotta shift up quick. It's a terrible run on your first lap, man. All right, 103.5 should be the base, I guess, because I've barely run on these things. Oh. Did he mean to do that? Did I back out by accident? Screw me if I did that. Hopefully they wait a second while I come back in. I did not mean to back out if I backed out. Somebody can watch it live on stream if I backed out. I'm an idiot if I did. Why did I back out? So dumb. You're a dummy. Oh. All right, well, this would be nice to see because Corridor and I always give him the slight edge. We're always close to the same pace. I feel like he's quicker, at least in qualifying. I always give him the edge. But it's good to it's good to get a gauge where he is. And JP was super quick. JP was super quick. At Watkins Glen. It's going to be hard getting a clean qualifying lap too with so many people around. It's a tight course to get a good quality lap on. With 14 of us. And if somebody spins out, which you can go back to the reset to the pits at least, you can have a lot of bad luck in quali here. Dang it! Stop sliding through that. Oh, I shouldn't have tried to send it. Damn it, I cannot put together a lap. Oh, Corridor and JP are fast. 12 flats. What was that, a 12.7 at the end there? Ooh. 1.7. Wasn't even 12 flat. Had me by a second. That's a good lap right there. All right. Don't push stuff. Race doesn't matter, but like to get some kind of good data out of this, huh? Some kind of useful data out of it. gonna have to remember to just set that in my settings so I don't have to mess with it. Gross. Struggling to do that right now. Damn, corridor's fast. struggling through that. Holy moly. Losing all my time there. Oh no! Oh well. I accidentally put the softs on anyway, so not really what I wanted to do. At this point, just go on softs for the rest of it. That is the one way to screw up a practice race, right there. Right there, right there. Oof, what a bad time to come out. no way they can go this long. Mistakes all around. Corridor made a mistake there too. So what most of this race will come down to, making mistakes. Tires completely gone. What riding on rims feels like, though. And they fall like that's huge. Three, 4 seconds. 3, 5 seconds. Definitely can't go that long, which I had screwed up my strat from the start, so it didn't matter after that. question is there even a rim left? Because there's no tire. Is there even a rim? Just on brake pads and rotors. Woof. Woof, 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 woof. I'm going to say that quick. Okay. Oops. Good to get that out of the way now, though. Right? Get that out of the way now. All right. Well, I'm just gonna run the one I think tonight. So let's say thanks for the. One practice offline race, one practice online race. That's enough for tonight before I wear myself out. Wear myself out with one combo. I haven't been driving anything else. Let's see, what are the... I haven't done a time trial in so long. Might eventually do this Mazda one. Like me some Road Atlanta. I didn't race it enough last week. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. I was gonna check some things here. You know what I never go and do? They added this thing and I never go and check it. They had it in the cafe like a seasonal, didn't they? Or is that gone now? Was that only for a little bit? Yeah, that must have only been for a little bit. They did like this seasonal cafe menu thing. For a little bit. You went in and you could do a seasonal extra one and just get some free stuff. I gotta go to the Power Pack one day too. I did not even get halfway through that yet. Anyways, it's been fun. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for lurking. Anybody who lurked, all you guys chatting early when we were first running, appreciate it. Unless I do a random pop up livery stream this week, I'll probably next be live for NRL on Friday night, 7:30 Central Time. You can catch me here. I'll be on right about then, maybe a little bit beforehand. And the live broadcast over on McNaughty Gaming goes live at 7:30 Central Time. They'll do their intros, and then we're race one. So you can have both of us open if you got tabs, or come say hi, drop a like, and go watch the live broadcast, whatever. Make sure you drop back in though. And yeah, unless it's a random livery pop-up stream, kind of unlikely. I probably won't be live until Friday. I don't think I'm going to do the NASCAR T-Case lobbies just because I'm going to be using that time that I would game in that evening on this. And I'm probably going to do the rest of the stuff offline. So hone in everything offline. Unless I see some big lobby. It's nice to get some racing around people. know a little bit how the slipstream's going to react, and all of that. So, um, yeah, 14 of us going into that turn one is going to be something on Friday. I got to just get spread out without getting damage. Just let us get a little spread out to get in a zone without damage, and I'll feel good. But until then, you guys take care, and thanks for joining me tonight. Peace.